Welcome to Motormouth, brought to you by the Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles. I'm Kendra Cook.
I'm Dan.
And we're here remarking how quiet it is in the museum today because we're back to filming after our regular hours. The past couple of shows we were here when big events were going on and it was really loud. So,
commotion.
Yes, commotion. Lots of background noise. So we don't have any of that to deal with right now. We're not sure what to do with ourselves.
I think we could figure some stuff out.
Figure it out.
We got stuff right here.
The Boyertown Museum is here at 85 South Walnut Street in Boyertown, and we're open 7 days a week, 9:30 to 4. And we'd love to see you come out to the museum if you haven't already. And even if you have already, please do come back. We've got a great exhibit in the lobby, which you're going to hear a little bit more about later on in the show. That's wrapping up soon, and we're going to be getting a new exhibit coming in after that. That if we have time tonight, we'll give you a little sneak preview of that. Things coming up, though, one of our biggest events is coming up on June 29th. That is going to be our 5th annual food truck fair. We call it the Truck Stops Here, and we hold it in our big parking lot, which is catty corner from the museum entrance. And we're really excited this year because, you know, the food is always good. It's always nice to try out the food, but we're going to have some really cool extras.
And what kind of extras are we going to have?
Well, we are going to have a group joining us called the Tin Can Tourists.
And do you know, I just read yesterday, they're celebrating their 100th anniversary. Did you know that? That
is too cool.
I just came across that yesterday.
See, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's just serendipity. So
is that what it's called?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We're going to have about 7 vintage campers and trailers displayed along the street. We're closing down part of Walnut Street so they can park. Most of them are also pulled by a vintage vehicle, which is also pretty cool. But we've got everything. I know there's a 49 Prairie Schooner coming. There's, I believe, a 1961 Winnebago. We just had someone send in that they're going to bring their Airstream. I think it's a 51. So there's going to be some really cool stuff here. Really neat display on the street. And we're kind of doing a camping theme this year because it's going to coincide with our new summer exhibit for the lobby, which is going to be about the history of camping and RVing. So that's why they're coming, and we're really happy that the Tin Can Tourists are working with us. They're coming from, a lot of them are driving a good distance, so come out and support them and check out what they have. We'll also have the PA Wheelman here, riding some vintage bicycles around.
Any high-wheeler type things?
We're supposed to be seeing some high-wheelers that day. So it'll be fun. We're looking forward to it.
What kind of food trucks are we having?
So we will be having Mr. Softy. He always comes. He's going to come back too.
That's like ice cream stuff,
Ice cream.
Right? Yeah.
Captain Chucky's Seafood. He'll be here. Another vintage truck called Dough & Co. And they serve like ice cream sandwiches. They're really good. We met them at the car show in Hershey. And they'll be here. And a couple of other trucks whose names are escaping me right now. We're going to have 8 or 9 total. And we'll still have, Sly Fox can't join us this year, but we're still going to have beer here. It'll be like a beer garden kind of thing this year instead, and that's thanks to Molly McGuire's in Phoenixville. They're going to come out and set that up for us. So lots of great sponsors for this event. Lazy K Campground is donating sites for these vintage campers to camp then Saturday night, so thank you, Lazy K. And a lot of great sponsors. I just want to mention them here because without them we would not have this event. So please give them some business. CD's Place Catering and Eatery, Diamond Credit Union, Everything Printing, Gateway Ticketing, Parks Chiropractic, Passmore Service Center, RT Brown and Company, Spirited Stones Holistics, and Thrive Acupuncture. Thank you to all of you. You make this event possible, and we're looking forward to it. So June 29th, noon to 4. We hope to see you there, and it's rain or shine. So we'll have some tents out if it's rainy or blistering hot.
And, you know, the thing is, rain or shine, you still have to eat.
Exactly. You still got to eat. And there's a nice museum just across the street that is dry, and you can come look at stuff.
Yeah.
So you can take a break if it's raining. But it won't rain. We've already determined.
The thing is, there's the price to get in the show is
it's actually
like a discount.
Yeah, it's actually lower than if you just came to the museum for regular admission on a regular admission day. So it's only $5, and if you have little ones, ages 6 and under, they are free. So we hope to see you there. It's fun. It's a fun day. It was really hot last year, so we put in our order for the weather. That'll be better than last year.
Yeah. Yep.
And then one other thing, I guess 2 other things to save the date for. One is our annual burger night that we do at CD's Place on North Reading Avenue, Route 562. And that's going to be Friday, July 26th from 6 to 9. And that's in one of those old cup restaurants, which I think is just begging to be a Motormouth topic someday.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on my to-do list.
Yeah, you better get busy with that.
That night, I think we should go film there and have some dinner.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll serve us
like
up
a
some
burger.
dinner. Yeah, some burgers. And then the other date, of course, is our upcoming Duryea Day. It's going to be our 54th annual, and that will be Saturday, August 31st. Always the Saturday of Labor Day weekend at Boyertown Community Park. And of course, that's usually when we go over there and walk around and talk to a bunch of car owners and see a bunch of really cool cars in one day. So those are our next 2 things coming up.
And we already have a car lined up for that.
We do? Wow, you're working early.
Ron Smith's Curve Dash Oldsmobile.
Is he bringing? Ooh,
Yeah,
you may remember.
I think he told you about that too.
Ron was on the show last Duryea.
With 2 old
Chevys. He's
Yeah.
got some neat stuff. Good, so he's going to bring the Curve Dash.
Yep.
Awesome. So we already can tease you about that. You have
Yep.
to tune in. Or come to the park and see it in person too.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So, well, before we leave the diner and depart for other areas in the museum, anything, or are we departing even for your first segment?
No,
Okay.
we're staying right here.
What you got for us?
What you got?
Today?
Okay, I got a little poem. We're going to do poetry. Okay.
I was never good at poetry.
I hated it.
I could do a haiku.
What's that?
575. 5 syllables, 7 syllables. You don't have to rhyme it, so that's why I was good at it.
Oh, is that what a haiku
Yeah.
is? Okay.
Requires no rhyming.
Okay. All right. That's more than I know. I never liked poetry. Still don't. Anyway, no, this is out of this is from a company called S&K, and they were involved in the tire industry. And this little poem is as follows. Of all the sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these, she's flat again. Meaning a tire.
Aww. That is sad.
It's
She's flat again.
Okay, this is from about 1918, somewhere in there, when cars had a lot of flat tires. I came across some stuff about tire fillers. And I'm going to read something here. And this is from the Automobile Journal from October of 1918. Automobile Journal was a magazine, obviously, for the car industry. And it says there are about 25 different concerns in this country producing fluid, semi-fluid, and solid material for filling tubes intended for pneumatic tires. The purpose of the fluid or semi-fluid compounds being to fill punctures of tubes by exudation and retain the filling, and of the solid fillers to afford sufficient degree of resiliency and yet be free from the delays, inconvenience, and expense of tire deflation and inflation changes and repairs. That's a lot of words, okay? Apparently there was a group of people back then that met together, and they had these means of keeping tires not inflated, but you could still use the tires and not worry about keeping them inflated. So in other words, they would not go flat, and there was stuff you could put inside the tires or inside the tire tubes, so they could have holes in them and you didn't have to worry about them. And one of these companies was called S&K, which I mentioned had this little poem. So they said the flat tires were time consuming, and tire fillers were a substitute for pressurized air. And you could actually do away with inner tubes in some instances. Now I mentioned this was from 1918. Figure the World War I was going on, so they had to save rubber back then. Everybody hears about it during World War II, but the same problem in World War I. And also the rubber wasn't as good. The tires didn't last as long as they did now. Of course, they last many times longer. So anyway, this S&K company, they had this product, 5 years of testing. They said thousands of motorists have used it on their cars, could double the life of the tire. It was an actual thing you would put inside the tire. So you'd have the tire casing, and now I was reading this and it gave all this explanation and stuff, and I put in my notes, this is my words, this is not S&K's words.
Okay, we can't hold them liable. Then.
Right. Think of a hunk of summer sausage. Right? Doesn't that sound like my words?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get summer sausage, you put it inside the tire. You figure the tire is only like this, and you put that in there, curved and everything. And so that was it.
So it's an actual solid thing. It's not like a liquid or a powder or something.
Right.
Okay.
And it was be flexible. That's S&K's.
Okay.
Okay. And the National Auto Show at Boston, and I saw this also, another write-up of a different auto show, I think Chicago, but it doesn't make any difference. In 1918, they had a test. They had the heat test, which their product was immersed in boiling water for 1 week, and then the freezing test, which was remained frozen for 1 week, and the pressure test under 2,000 pounds PSI for 1 week. And so they were showing how resilient it was under these different circumstances. It said it contained no rubber. It was a durable composition. It didn't say what the composition was, though. It was not a liquid or a semi-solid. So what it was, there was not an atom of rubber in it.
Ooh.
So.
Oh, not one.
Not one.
Huh.
So when your casing wears out, the same S&K may be transferred to a new casing. So you could actually wear the casing or the tire itself out, and you can get another tire and stick this summer sausage in it.
It is like sausage.
Yeah, except better than that. Okay, or not better,
Not
but
as edible.
yeah, not as edible. Yes. Okay. So depending on the tire, it would be anywhere from, or depending on the size of the tire, it'd be anywhere from $40 to $123 for 4 tires. So that was a good chunk of
That's
money,
a lot back
but
then.
it would last for who knows
Supposedly,
how long.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, obviously they had special tire mounting equipment, because on a tire, if it was deflated, you could stick the tire itself on the wheel because it was very pliable, but with this casing in it, it wasn't as pliable. So I came across a couple of patents for it, but we won't even get into them because they're kind of boring. So, okay, Then there was another company. This was called Veteran Air Company, and veteran is spelled Bettern. So it was better and or like better than air company.
So clever.
And it was made by a company called JCH Galvanizing Company out of Philadelphia.
Ah.
And I actually saw a picture of it online, and it's it almost looks like a blacksmith shop. So that's where the
Ooh,
galvanizing
okay.
company out of Philadelphia. But anyway, it was a German invention. It was a vulcanized vegetable compound, which again, I'm not quite sure
doesn't
what
sound too
that included.
Is it more edible than the other S&K?
I'm not sure. It was galvanized. I don't. Made in logs 24 inches long. It was different diameters for different size tires. So that was from $9 to $23. But I don't know how much that includes. Is that just for one tire or four? Who knows? Degree of hardness could be varied by varying lengths in the casing, which I didn't understand. So I guess maybe you could put gaps in it. I don't know. So, they didn't really explain things for my satisfaction, but they weren't trying to sell to me. So
No.
it was not capable for high speeds, but it was resilient as air for speeds up to 30 miles an hour.
What year was this? 1913.
That one was 1913. Yes.
See, when they say not capable of high speeds, what is a high speed to them in 1913?
I don't know, but I was surprised when it said it is good for up to 30 miles an hour.
See, I think for 1913, that sounds like
That's
high
flying.
speed.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you figure if a car could go that, the roads couldn't be able to
No,
handle
you wouldn't
that.
want to go that
Yeah.
fast on those roads.
Yeah, so. Okay, and we got, let's see, we got a couple others here. We have another one here. This is called Tire Filler. This is 1912, so we're going back
Okay.
even a year. This is called Air Ease Tire Filler Company out of Washington, D.C. It was invented by Warren B. Buckley, one of the greatest living chemical authorities.
Ooh.
I'm thinking he could probably use his authoritative stuff better than tire fillers. I don't know. But anyway, it's a cork. There was no cork in it. Printer's roll, which was gelatin or glue. No, there was none of that.
Oh,
I don't know why they brought that
Yeah.
in.
That must be what the other people are using.
Maybe. Crude corn oil? No.
No.
But highly refined corn oil? Yes.
Ah.
Marketed under the trade name of Argo corn oil.
Like cornstarch.
I think that's what it is, okay? Okay, but it was mixed, okay?
it might
Now, I don't know. Now, you cook, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I cook. Almost everybody cooks, you know?
Yeah.
That's what microwaves are for, okay? So, this was cooked, or made, I'll say made, with flowers of sulfur. Ever hear of that?
No.
Okay.
I don't think that would smell very good.
Okay. Bright yellow powder from
Yeah.
natural occurring volcanic brimstone deposits. And then you thoroughly mix. Heat to 320 degrees for 50 minutes. Now, this is like in an advertisement.
Wait, this is what the customer has to do?
No, they
Oh, my God.
they're telling you how great this stuff is. Then vulcanization takes place. Then you wait 2 minutes, and then you add finely comminuted cork. And it said earlier you didn't have cork. And that comminuted is finely particled cork.
Huh.
Then the compound is ready to be injected into the inner tube. So it was very liquid. Then the complete vulcanization takes 24 hours, and then you're ready to go. So there you go.
Wow.
So you end up with this smelly mess.
My
And
gosh,
I'm
that
thinking,
must have smelled horrible.
But Warren was one of the greatest living chemical authorities.
Who am I to argue with him? With Mr. Buckley there.
Maybe he had something to do with that school in Washington, D.C. He was the chemical teacher.
That's right.
Anyway, or the chemistry teacher. Okay, then there was National Rubber Tire Filler. This is 1919, made by this company called the National Rubber Filler Company out of Texas. They made the best grade of rubber cut in small pieces, treated, molded, and vulcanized by their special steam process. Didn't tell you what that was. But this,
Top secret.
yeah, this is from a 1919 advertisement, and this is in closing is kind of neat. And again, we talk about this once in a while. The advertising, it's kind of interesting, the
Yeah.
wordage that they have. So here it goes. End your tire troubles forever. It brings you new happiness and releases you from the horrors of expected tire trouble. Think of the joy of riding along without the eternal fear of a puncture or blowout. Think of getting 10,000 to 20,000 miles out of every tire. No vulcanizing, no patching, no repairing of any kind. Just real good old pleasure riding. Do away with your inner tube and the many troubles caused by its use forever by installing in your tires this wonderful and economical National Rubber Tire Filler.
Think of it.
I mean, it just makes you want to go out
I
and
know.
put them
and
in your car.
Take a drive.
Yeah.
Think of it.
So
love it.
I think tonight I'm going to go down to the local store and get some.
See if the dealer will put it on for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Probably throw me out. So. Okay.
Huh.
So that's what I have.
They're very concerned about extending the life of their tires.
Oh yeah.
I don't really hear about that now. I don't know. But that one was really expensive.
It was. It was.
That kind of surprises me for that time.
Yeah, 40 to 123.
That's not cheap in 1918 or whatever. That's expensive.
I don't know what the tires would cost. What would a regular tire cost? So, but you know, in 1918, I'm wondering. You know, maybe it was next to impossible to get tires still.
Well, that's true too. Yeah.
We have to get a crack research team to get on that. No, I'm pointing to you.
Man. I'll add it. It's going to go right after the cup restaurants.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, excellent. Well, we're going to go back in time here for a little bit because we were commenting on how quiet it was here. We're going to go back a month or two to when we filmed a segment on, I believe it was Diner Day, with a representative from the Reading Fairgrounds Racing Historical Society. Now, as we're filming this today, it's June 3rd, and the Reading Fairgrounds has put a nice exhibit in our lobby, and that will be up until, I would say, June 16th. And that's a Sunday. It's Father's Day, actually. And then the next few days after that, it's going to start being dismantled to make way for our next exhibit. So you're going to get a little preview of the exhibit. You're going to learn a little bit about the fairgrounds history in this next segment. But the display itself is going to be out of here Father's Day. So make sure that'd be a great thing to do for Father's Day. Mm-hmm. Is to come here and check out the fairgrounds exhibit. So enjoy as we get in our time machine and go back, and we're going to get a little look at the fairgrounds exhibit in the lobby, and we'll see you back in just a few minutes. All right, well, we've got a great temporary exhibit here in the museum, so you've got to get out here before June 11th. Make sure you get here and see this. The Reading Fairgrounds Racing Historical Society was kind enough to put this exhibit together for us, and we're lucky enough to have it here for a short time. And we have someone from the society here to talk to us today. This is Jeff. So Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Quite welcome.
And we're actually we're filming this on Diner Day, which you remember our last show we filmed at Diner Day. So there's lots of people around. You guys were kind enough to come out and talk to all our visitors today and I'm sure tell a lot of stories and hear stories, I bet. So I guess, you know, when did the society start?
I only got involved in only 3 years ago. I got involved
Okay.
with it, but it was a very long time. I remember a lot of things about the society, the racing club, and I have a friend who's standing over there. Russ Thomas got me involved. He said, "Why don't you come out and join?" And I joined 3 years ago. Now I love it.
Here you are.
It's great. Great club, man, I tell you. It's one of the best clubs I were ever in.
Oh, that's awesome. So do you remember the fairgrounds?
Yes,
or?
I remember a lot of things about the fairgrounds when I was real little. I used to sit up on Section A in the grandstand. I used to be in the pits. I used to be all over over in the fairgrounds.
Cool.
It was like a little kid to me.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now I go to the races now a lot. I'm still a little kid when I get there. You know,
Yeah, right.
It's just, and you mentioned
Exactly.
the section that you sat in at Reading. I go to a race and I sit in the same seat. The same person is to my right, same person to my left, in front of me. The whole
Exactly.
thing. It's just, and it's a family.
It was.
Okay. And even after you got out of the stands, you went into the pits. You were saying
Yes.
you were involved with several drivers, and there's that camaraderie, that family in the pits. And I think that's what makes like this exhibit so great. Is we have visitors coming in and they're reminiscing. They're looking at the pictures, at the cars.
Oh,
we
yes,
have on display.
yes. I mean, looking at the pictures here that we have here brings back memories. A lot of drivers that we lost in the years
yeah.
go by,
Yeah.
I remember a lot of accidents at the Reading Fairgrounds. I was there the night that Jackie Evans got killed.
Okay.
And I was there, and also the night of Jim Hurtubise got killed, which was the last race at Reading, I think.
And I don't know if you're like me, but if I see something serious like that, I kind of stop and pause and kind of look at that and thinking, those guys are out there. They're entertaining me. This is a fun thing for me. And then you see the other side of the sport, and it's kind of sad, but
Yeah,
that's part of it. So.
it is. The only track that we have even around here right now is Big Diamond up in Minersville and also Grandview.
Yeah.
Bridgeport, New Jersey. Everything's closing up because the malls are coming in,
Yeah.
And it's sad. So we
We
couldn't
mentioned Grandview, and as I'm looking, I can see out a window there, and I see it's clear, and
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
be there in a few hours. I'm there
Yes.
with the same person to my right, same person
Exactly.
to the left.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll all be there.
Yeah.
So this year marks the 40th anniversary of the end of the fairgrounds, correct? Right?
Right.
Okay. So closed down. A mall got installed there.
The mall got installed.
Yeah. Yeah. And now the mall is like
now it's empty
just
again.
about closed. And so you've kind of there's been people that sort of say tongue-in-cheek that they ought to close the mall and build a racetrack.
Yeah.
I know that won't happen
No,
because
never. Because you can't get a lot of people to help anymore.
Right. It's
This
very-
young generation is just where people don't want to get involved anymore.
Yeah, very expensive.
Yep.
Very expensive property and stuff too. Yeah, that was the end of an era when
Yeah.
the racetrack closed. And
Yes, it
I
was.
know people. You might have known people that did not even go into the city of Reading for years because they closed the racetrack down.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Do you know people like that?
Oh, yeah, I know
Okay.
people like that.
Junior Mykosh
Yeah.
refused to go to Reading. He was a race driver.
Yep.
It was interesting.
Yes.
Interesting stuff like that.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So,
Now the society, like you guys provided pretty much, well, I mean, you provided everything. Now you own a lot of the photos, the uniforms and things like that.
Right.
The memorabilia.
Yes.
So the vehicles came from
People
friends
who-
of the society, I guess?
Yes.
Okay.
Like Bruce Young here, he has, this is his car here that he ran Reading years ago. The flathead behind us, that ran Reading years ago. I was just maybe a little guy when this guy was running. But I remember a lot of people talking about different drivers and all that kind of stuff.
And there still are a lot of drivers around, right?
Yes.
I mean, not a lot.
Not a lot of old drivers around anymore. No,
But
right. But there is some.
Are some, yeah.
Yes.
And when we kicked this display off a few weeks ago, we had some show up here, and it was neat to hear the stories. There's always great stories that goes along with it. And,
Yeah. Which of these vehicles here, like, is personal to you? Like, is there one that you really remember watching, or?
Well, I remember these cars here, right here. They called it a modified years ago. And that's what they called it. And I used to watch that every Friday, Sunday night, or if they had a special show during the week, it was like a Tuesday night, they would have a sprint car show and modified combination show at Reading. And it was the best show that I've seen.
Called these modifieds, now they had a V8 Chevy engine in, most of them Chevys, okay?
Right,
There was,
mainly
I know
Chevys,
one
yes.
very distinct Ford car that Jerry Chamberlain drove. But anyway, most of them had Chevy overhead valve engines, and that was what they had to modify. That's what they call modifieds. And it went to the seat in the center also.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really a Northeast phenomenon.
Yeah,
too,
it was,
you know?
yeah. And it was cheap back then. Nowadays, you're looking at, I don't know what thousands of dollars you're looking at even to buy a modified today if you're going to get into the sport.
Right.
So you need a trailer to haul the car, you need a motor engine builder, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And then it and then it adds up a lot to the owner or the driver itself, you know.
And when they built these cars, this era, and I'm saying this is the early 70s here, you're still getting a lot of stuff from the junkyard.
Oh yeah,
okay?
this was all
either junkyard or fabricated yourself. And then you go to the store and you buy it yourself.
Yes.
And so it's really changed over the years. I still love it.
And it wasn't just cars that were at the fairgrounds.
No, they ran motorcycles, sprint cars. They had like special shows during the week, during the fair. They had like Joey Chitwood there and everything.
Yeah, there's a great Joey Chitwood photo somewhere here. I was looking at it the other week. With that crazy stuff.
It was great. I mean,
and you say sprint cars, there'd be like the USAC guys come, which included like AJ Foyt, Mario Andretti, those guys, you know.
Those guys,
just a bunch of local people. It was a national
big
show.
names.
Yeah, big names came into Reading, yeah. Do you remember Lenny Salmon's novelty stand? I used to buy a lot of stuff from Lenny, but he was a very nice guy. His dad was a very nice man to meet, and so is Lenny Jr. So.
Yeah. In fact, I saw his son race last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, came in second. But anyway, that's another story.
But we learned that too, I think, when we had the opening the other week, is that this was a family thing, that, you know, the sons start doing it and...
Right.
Yeah, generations.
Yeah.
In fact, you were telling me you helped with a family, 3 generations of the same family.
Yep, 3 generations.
Wow.
How old is the youngest now?
The youngest is going to be 18. In fact, next Friday is his birthday, 18.
He's turning out pretty good, too.
Yep. Well, I got my start with Barry Von Dorn, the #1. He ran Reading. One night he wanted to get a car, and he said, "Would you help?" I said, "Yeah, I'll help him. I'll help him out." And then he went on to the Keystone Crystal car, which was the 126. And then when he took his wild flip, and then his brother got into the car, and then it was just Craig Von Dorn. Craig and I were good friends. We were still good friends as of today, you know. And I decided to get back into my other routine, what I was doing, which was the music business. And I got back in it again back in 1991. A friend of mine asked me to get back in, so I helped. First was Terry Reimert, who ran the number 58 at Reading, and also Big Diamond, Penn National, and Grandview. And then when Terry decided to get out, he stepped down and got his son involved. So I helped Sean for a couple of years, and I just started helping out with Loudon again. So.
Okay. Loudon's the guy who's turning 18.
Loudon's turning 18. Yeah. He ran speedsters, slingshots, quarter midgets, sportsmen. He was a sportsman champion at Grandview last year. Very nice.
So So the Reading Fairgrounds Racing Historical Society. I never can remember that, but the sign is right there. I'll read it, okay?
Yes.
I mean, you're just trying to continue the memory of this great racetrack.
It is, exactly.
And every picture I see of that racetrack, the stands are full. Whoops.
Yes.
The stands are full.
Exactly.
The pits are full of cars.
Yes.
And it's amazing. And
Right.
you know, you had this great thing, and you know, it's gone. There's nothing you can do about it now.
No,
but
right.
we can still remember it.
Exactly.
So you get these vehicles we have
Right.
here. And I know there's a bunch of other vehicles that are associated with your group. I know at the Motorsports Show down in Oaks earlier
Right.
this year,
Uh-huh.
you had a lot of cars.
A lot of cars
I
down
don't know
this
how
year,
many,
yep.
you know, 20 of them or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of memorabilia.
Oh, yeah.
It's neat. It's
Yes, it is.
a lot of neat stuff there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
This has been really popular. We've had a lot of visitors already, and it really
Right.
hasn't been here that long, but we know people are coming.
Exactly.
There's so many memories with the locals. You know,
Yes.
they remember
Yeah,
it
it
so
is,
well, and their family. Like you guys were saying, it was like a family.
It was a family thing every,
Uh-huh.
Friday night or Sunday night, and then you go, into Tuesday night racing, Hey, it was a family organization to go on to see the races at
Yep.
Reading.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. Yeah, you got to make sure you get down to the museum soon to see this. We're really fortunate to have it, and heard lots of great compliments, and we thank
Good.
you guys
Thank
for
you very much for
setting it
having
up
us here.
for us.
Yes.
This was neat. Very cool.
Okay.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little glimpse of our Reading Fairgrounds Racing Historical Society exhibit, and we want to thank them, because we would not have that exhibit if it weren't for that group of really dedicated people, and they spent a lot of time setting that up, and it's not going to be around much longer.
No.
So again, really, please come before June 16th, Sunday. Or comes that Sunday, Father's Day. Come sometime before then, and make sure you see it before it leaves. And it's just neat. We've had a good time having it here. It's brought back a lot of memories for people.
Oh, for me.
Yeah.
Now, I only went to the fairgrounds 2 or 3 times before they closed down. I spent my early racing fan career at other tracks like Flemington. But anyway, there's a lot of pictures there of drivers I do remember, and it was kind of neat looking at those pictures, and some of the racers have been in here, and I've been talking to them, and kind of neat, and so
Yeah.
a lot of good memories there.
Yeah, it's been fun.
A lot of
So
good stories have been
hopefully
flowing around.
we'll have it back in some
Yeah.
shape or form.
Oh, they're
again.
anxious to come back.
Yeah, I bet they are.
Yeah. Yep.
So, very cool. So we're going to ask you a very important, well, I'm going to ask you, because it's just me, a very important question, which is, where have you been lately?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, Grandview Speedway.
Yes.
How's that for like a segue?
That
You know, we're
doesn't
talking
surprise me
racing,
at all.
but that's not really what you're looking for.
Not really, but
Okay.
maybe we'll talk about that sometime.
This isn't, every segment, excuse me for my coughing. I have like a cold, by the way. I figured our
Yeah.
viewers want to know what's going on here.
It's
So
lasted for, probably feels like 5 years at this point.
yeah, it's been going on. So I got a doctor's appointment coming up, so don't worry. Okay, I'll make it through. So
He's got water.
yeah, Kendra wants to make sure I make it through, because if I don't, she does the whole hour show.
You would not be happy with
Yeah.
that.
But anyway, we do this every month. We do, where have you been thing. We alternate, and there's a lot of really interesting places in Pennsylvania to go to and stuff. And we have to be honest, at least I have to be. And it's not places where I have been recently. And this is a place I kind of passed by several years ago, but for some odd reason, I remembered it. And it was so interesting that I thought, I'm going to share it with the viewers and with Kendra
And me.
and with our camera guy too, Gus. So this is something I was going down the road. I think it was about 5 years ago, maybe 6, 7, 10 years. I can't remember. And I was in Snyder County, Pennsylvania, which is kind of right in the middle of the state. And I was on Route 522, U.S. Highway 522. And I was kind of in between Lewistown and Selinsgrove. So again, all you race fans, if you know where Selinsgrove is, you go west from there. And I think it's about maybe 15, 20 miles west of there, kind of near Beaver Springs for you drag racing guys. And there's a little town called McClure, Pennsylvania. And they had one of those historical signs, you know, those cast iron blue things with the yellow letters. We got one right outside of our door here at the museum. It caught my eye. And it's talking about a bean soup encampment. And it kind of caught my eye, and I read the thing.
I'd read that too.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to read you the marker text. You can go online and as you can with everything, and find everything out. And the sign says, founded July 23rd, 1883 by Captain Michael Smith, post number 335, Grand Army of the Republic. Bean soup was first started as a reunion at McClure, Pennsylvania, fall of 1891, dedicated by daughters of Union veterans of the Civil War. That's it. I'm thinking, okay, well, I didn't tell you this, but McClure, Pennsylvania is pretty much the middle of nowhere. Okay?
Yeah,
It is like a little nothing town.
A dot.
And if any of our viewers are from McClure, Pennsylvania, or know somebody there, no offense to you, but it is
Tiny.
a nothing little town. Okay, I looked it up on Wikipedia here. I got some information here about the demographics. Census of 2010, 941 people.
Wow.
Okay.
That's not many people.
Boyertown's a small town, but not that small.
Yeah.
Okay. The largest largest population of that town was in 1970. It was 1,094. So it is a fairly small town. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you about the McClure Bean Soup Festival. Okay.
Sounds amazing.
This is, I have to read this to you. It's a couple paragraphs long. It says, this bean soup celebration is a living memorial to all veterans of all wars, having been started by the veterans of the Civil War, of McClure and nearby communities. In the second floor of Joseph Peters Blacksmith Shop in Bannersville, Pennsylvania, just north of McClure's. It's like a suburb, okay? Bannersville, Pennsylvania, on July 23rd, 1883, a group of Civil War veterans met to organize the Grand Army of the Republic Post. Their first formal session was held October 20th, 1883. Time and again, this group of veterans held their own bean soup festivals. But in 1891, they invited the public for the real deal, a Civil War bean soup dinner.
Wow.
Comrade Nair B. Middlesworth chaired the celebration and secured a real hardtack, a very solid, thick biscuit cracker made from flour, water, and salt that could be stored for years, to be served with the bean soup, while Comrade Henry Cowley, a Civil War cook, was in charge of the soup, assisted by Comrade Aaron Bickel.
Wow.
The legacy of this celebration was carried on by the Henry K. Ritter Camp Number 65, Sons of the Union Veterans of the Civil War. In 1937, a nonprofit corporation was formed, and since then, the citizens of McClure have continued this annual bean soup tradition. Okay, so
Wow.
it's been going on for 130 some years now. So, all of you out there, if you want to go, it's from September 10th to September 15th of this year.
5 days?
So they have that, they have rides, they probably have a food truck fair.
Yeah. Wow.
But they have all sorts of things. Now, annually, remember how many people are in this town again?
941.
941. Annually, 40 to 60,000 people show up. So you won't
might wanna
feel,
leave early.
You won't feel lonely.
Find a
okay?
parking space.
but it is interesting, and you go on
gosh.
Google Maps and you look at this town, and it's a small town, it's a farming town, and it's just really interesting. And I was looking some other things up, and I don't know how many festivals and things such as that are in the state of Pennsylvania, excuse me, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. There's, a whole bunch of them, and they're celebrating all sorts of things. And I just thought, this is interesting.
That is cool.
And so, Kendra, I want you to send a postcard to the museum when you go there with your family.
I'm really intrigued.
Yeah.
Actually.
And
So they still serve the hardtack, I wonder? Can't be that hard to make.
You're gonna find out for
Yeah,
us.
I am. That's pretty cool. Where do they put 40 to 60,000 people in that town?
I don't know. I think camping is the big thing.
Wow. I'm stunned. That's pretty neat, though. It's a neat little tradition.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. And I've seen other towns as I'm traveling around, not just in Pennsylvania, but other states, and you go through this town, it's 3 blocks long. And you see a banner across the street, and it's strawberry festival,
Yeah.
or it's a cheese festival or
Yeah.
something. You think, how big can it be?
Yeah.
But they're probably as big as this. And,
But you didn't pass through there during their bean soup festival, did you?
no,
Okay.
no. And I think if
You
I
were
did,
there
I
off-season.
would have known. Yeah, that I would have known.
Oh my gosh. That's cool.
Yeah,
I'll write this down. I like it.
you can have it.
Okay. I like it. Wow. So you were driving through Snyder County, huh?
Do you know people in Snyder County?
I've driven through it, and
You're probably like right behind me.
yeah, I probably
I didn't know you then.
Very cool.
Were you going to Sealing Grove Speedway that night?
No, I didn't. No. That's why you went out there, wasn't it?
No,
Oh.
no. And actually, I remember I was going the other way. I was going away from Sealing
Oh.
Grove. So I don't know why.
I like this. This is cool. So that's where you've been.
Yeah, that's where I've been.
All right. I've got to top that now next month.
You can. I know you can.
Well, we have a few minutes, I believe. So, we're going to, I guess I'm going to talk a little bit, you can throw in here too when you want to, about what's coming into the lobby next.
Can I have a gummy bear while you're talking?
Yes, this
Okay.
is our
Dinner.
dinner. It's bare bones here tonight, so.
It's almost as good as bean soup.
Well, this is making me hungry now, this bean soup. The hardtack isn't making me so hungry, but I'm curious to try it. So I guess, we were inspired to do a camping exhibit because the museum has a 1966 tour wagon. Now, a tour wagon was the RV or camper that the Boyertown Auto Body Works built, and they built them, I believe, starting in 1949. I think was the first one. But ours is a 66, and it's not on display right now. It hasn't been for,
A while.
I don't even know if it's ever been on display since I've been here. It's been a long time.
I think it was.
We used to take it to Macungie a couple times. The truck show up there, which is actually also coming up about this time of year. But it's a really neat piece. We decided it needed the spotlight shown on it at some, it was due. So we are doing an exhibit. It's going to be called Wheels in the Wilderness, and it's going to talk about the tour wagons that they built here, but it's also going to talk about really the history of camping, out of your vehicle, or how this all happened. And something also kind of happened to us as we were researching it is we kept reading about national parks, the national park system, and we're going to talk a little bit about that too, because actually the car helped the national park system become more popular. I mean, they were around and they were preserving and saving these, natural monuments and things like that, but people weren't really visiting them in huge numbers. And then the car came out and people started to do that. They started to make makeshift camping things. And then when you get RVs or campers, they really start to increase in popularity. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Park Service too in this exhibit. And long ago, like one of our first shows, we talked a little bit about kind of makeshift ways to eat along the roadside or things like that. We're going to talk about some of those things as well. So, because that all goes hand in hand with it. So that will be open in time for our food truck fair on June 29th, which of course will have all the other campers that are joining us for that day. So that day you're going to get a really neat little history of camping things. Another thing that we're going to have a little mini display on, I brought a few samples of it. A couple years ago, we had a gentleman who emailed the museum, and he had said, well, I'll read it to you. I have various gasoline and state maps from the 1970s, plus national park and other brochures, acquired for and during a cross-country family auto trip in 1973 through the U.S. and Canada. I would be happy to donate them to the museum. I presume they might prove useful, helping to illustrate vehicle displays of that era and how the automobile became pivotal to family vacations. Hope to hear from you. So we did. We got back in touch with him, and he gave us a big collection of brochures. I've got one bag here, but I have a bigger bag over in the office area. And he then wrote me a whole series of emails, and he sent me family photos of their trip. And we're going to make like a display board out of these, and you'll be able to kind of follow his trip. But they were all in the Badlands, the Dakotas, and it's really neat. Her and I, Autumn, and I say her, I mean Autumn. She was on the show a few months ago talking about bicycles. So she's been working really hard on this exhibit. And we've enjoyed looking at these different maps. And here we've got Saskatchewan. We have Olympic National Forest. This is in Washington State. So we're going to have this little display. We'll put on brochures of different places he stopped. He has a picture of the station wagon they borrowed to take this trip. And little remembrances that he has along the way and things that they did. So it's going to be a neat little story to kind of read about. And the tour wagon, our vehicle that we're putting in there, that family has also given us a book of photos and memories of their different trips on it. So it's going to be a couple of personal trips you can sort of follow and see the things that they did. And then we'll have some stuff about the other trailer and RV companies, people like Airstream, Winnebago, and things like that. And then we'll have some little camping accessories also going on. So we're looking forward to it. It's summer. It's a good time to talk about camping and road tripping. So we hope you'll come out and see it. It will be up in time for the food truck fair on the 29th, but it won't only be that one day. It'll be in the lobby all summer. You'll have a chance to see it if you can't make it to food truck. And we're looking forward to it. The tour wagon deserves to have some attention because it's a neat piece.
Yes, it does.
It was really a pretty amazing thing that they were building here, really, as early as they started the time. So we're excited to have it. So thank you all for joining us tonight. And thank you to our guests from Diner Day, who you got to see tonight, the fairgrounds. Thank you for joining us in the lobby. And we hope to see you all next month. And we'll have another great guest, and we'll be talking about more trivia and more places to see in our great
It's your
Commonwealth, our great Commonwealth, not our
It's
state.
your turn to.
It's my turn. I think I already know what I'm doing.
Okay.
It's all in here. All right. We'll see you all next month.